Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with The Sopranos. Last time around we had Christopher, which was not an episode about our Christopher, but more an episode about Christopher Columbus. Because it was nearing Columbus Day, and the Native American population of New Jersey did not like that. They were going to stage a protest, and this made Silvio's piss come to a boil, as the angry video game nerd used to say. So yeah, and there were hijinks about that. Meanwhile, Bobby's wife died in a car wreck. Because, we just decided to be cruel to this character. And there was something else that was important. And I cannot remember it. Was it something with Tony? Tony was just kind of going through, Like, Tony was helping with the whole Columbus thing, but even he kind of gave up at a point, so... there wasn't much. I guess, the other thing was, Ralphie broke up with Ro, and then Janice broke up with him, and, also... Johnny Sack, Paulie told him the joke about his wife, and so he hates Ralphie now. So, yeah, that's pretty much where we left off. With that out of the way, why don't we just go ahead and jump right into this episode of The Sopranos. Here we go.
Who's that? Nobody. Jersey. Ralph Cifaretto's crew.
Anyway, I go over to her house one night. She's dressed like a fucking cat, like from that show. I make up claws, the whole bit. You okay?
Pardon me, man.
Oh no. John's gonna go beat up Pee Wee Herman.
Donnie, right?
John, how you doing?
Oh! Oh!
Hey, whoa, John, what the fuck? What'd he do? Sorry, sack of shit.
You don't even know if he was,
Come on, let me get you out of here. Come on. No. Please. Scumbag? Let me buy you a drink.
Oh, he's gonna piss on him, too.
For tax-deferred growth, the annuity's fine, but if I'm hearing you right, liquidity's the real concern?
Yeah.
Well, we do occasionally need ready access.
That's how I talk about important things. Just, yeah.
He's a two-faced fucking prick.
I thought Ralph was your friend.
Right,
Yeah.
that's rich. See what my friend said about my wife? Made a crack about Ginny's waist. Something about her having a 90-pound mole on her ass.
I completely forgot. They were friends.
Well, that's deplorable.
It's deplorable.
Who told you this?
What's important is that it was said.
Yeah.
Well, if he did say it, I didn't hear it.
I want to make my garage into the guest house so my parents can visit. He says to me, because of the rules, I cannot do it.
Right, the zoning.
The man who sells me the house, he says nothing.
I mean,
As far as I remember,
you live alone in this house, right? You don't got another room?
There were 15 guys at the dinner when Ralph told that joke. Could be anybody flapping their gums.
What I don't get's why. What's the upside of telling Johnny that?
Getting go in New York somehow.
Loose lips sink ships.
First Johnny knows about flipping the property by the Esplanade. Not his shit.
Are they gonna think
I'm
of
a
it?
patsy. What do you think? It's not possible, right?
Silvio talking to Johnny? You never know, Dave.
I mean, don't think he has reason. Then again, they don't think Paulie has reason.
Jason's always been a well-adjusted young man.
Well, hey, it's been
why
a while.
now, Elliot?
She wanted to stick a dildo up my ass, make believe she was pimping me out. I told her, get the fuck out of here. The fuck? Whole family's nuts.
Hey, Tom.
Oh, you didn't hear that.
Hey!
Oh, hey, Tom.
Hey, come on.
It's interesting he's kind of getting out ahead of that in case Janice says anything.
Shit to my house.
How's Donnie K?
I was just asking him about that.
No, you weren't. You were talking about dildos.
Look, last year when Tony and I had our thing, that misunderstanding,
Eh.
you were the voice of reason.
He was.
You were the one that told me to apologize.
So you're apologizing?
If that's what it takes.
Why would you apologize? I thought you didn't say it.
I didn't say it.
You know something, Ralph? Not only are you a thief, you're a lying fucking prick. I should have let Tony chop your head off a year ago.
Good job, Ralph.
I want you to sanction the hit on Ralph Cifarello.
What? Are you fucking kidding me?
Jeez, he's going.
Violated my wife's honor.
He's going
Oh,
straight
fucking
up
Jenny,
there.
It's an off-colored remark. It's highly inappropriate. You want? I'll demand he's taxed. But clip him.
Damn.
Is it all just about money?
I'll crack him.
I
good.
mean,
Price
yes.
for 200 grand.
I want to sit down then with Ralph, fucking thief. Get this Fernandez paving bullshit dealt with.
Oh, this is getting too serious, man. You know what I like? This has nothing to do with Tony, really. It's all just Ralph.
A crime of severe immorality. They actually beat him for it with sticks. The truth was, he had a photograph of Britney Spears with his belongings.
What are we talking about?
Horrible.
Dad?
Thought I was in the wrong place.
What are you doing here?
I thought she was seeing things for a second.
So what's this your mother tells you about you joining the Legal Aid Society?
You actually
South
listened?
Law Center?
Hey, take it easy.
Oh, that's Elliot. I didn't even realize.
John, please.
Don't fucking John me!
Hey, we're trying to settle this.
It's not about that. I'm sorry, Carmen. I can't be in the same room with this man.
Yeah. I mean, that is a deep-seated hatred now.
Is it safe?
We each got a new cell phone. Talk on it once, you toss it. Totally untraceable.
Ah, the Saul Goodman method.
Let's get started.
As if Saul Goodman patented that, but he would say that he would have.
So what did Ralph do exactly?
He made a very hurtful remark. It's not worth repeating.
It's not important. Let's just agree it was unkind.
Let's
What?
point out, too, it's only been alleged something was said.
He allegedly said what he said to a group of people. Friends of ours.
If you weren't there, how do you know it's true?
I'm not at liberty to say.
All due respect, but this is bullshit.
Well,
Somebody in my
why is
family's
this?
talking out of school, and you're not at liberty to say who? I should be making the beef here.
My nephew's right.
Why is June involved in this?
You tell me who told you about it. We'll bring him in here. He corroborates what you're saying. I'll give you Ralph on a platter.
Eh?
It's nothing sacred. I mean, this is my wife we're talking about here. If this were years ago, would I even have had to ask? I mean, what happened to this thing? For God's sake, we bend more rules than the Catholic Church.
Let's assume, for the sake of
I
argument,
like him just sitting there, just listening to what went on.
You're being unreasonable, John.
Ralph Cifarello's the only one who knows how to handle the Esplanade? Put Pat Corvo in there.
There are millions of dollars at stake.
Again with the money?
Yeah, again with the money. It's settled, John. So either name a price or get the fuck over it.
Damn. Boss laying down the law. And there he goes again.
John. What would you say to a piece of Ralph's company? John. Just think about it at least.
Now someone has to go tell him that. Why was June involved in any of that? I guess because he's also boss? But he's boss in New Jersey. I don't know how the hierarchy works.
We share the Esplanade, Tony. I don't want that apple cart upset.
yeah, then somebody should do something about it.
I appreciate your thoughts.
You saying what I think you're saying?
I didn't say nothing.
Are you saying what you're not saying?
All right, then I'll talk to you.
"20 years I've been friends with John. Now he's gotta go."
All over a stupid joke. A mole on her ass? What's the joke? I still don't get it.
It's not a joke, per se. It's...
Yeah.
You had to be there.
Which
Real
Paulie
lack of
wasn't.
standards, your generation. My day, John was right. A man would never be expected to stand for a remark like that.
Fucked up thing is I don't even like Ralph. If he were drowning, I'd throw him a cinder block.
Meh.
But not protect one of my own captains? Besides, it's too late anyway. Carmine gave me the nod.
On Johnny? That one's a slippery fuck, huh? Remember those big fish lips of his? You want my advice? You'll call Lou DiMaggio. The Atwell Avenue boys.
What, those sicko fucks in Rhode Island?
They may be old, my little nephew, but those dogs can still hunt.
Meh.
My old man used to talk about them. Something to do with drugs.
Heroin. They're eking a living doing hits, running swag. Anyway, lo and behold, one day, Lenny gets pinched for heroin trafficking. It turns out the cocksucker's been making a fortune working with the Mourignon. And not only that, he's been selling out his own guys to the feds. You go to Rhode Island, and whatever you do, don't mention drugs. Coke, heroin, not even Tylenol.
Meh.
So what happened to this, Lenny prick?
Lou DiMaggio.
Meh.
His real name's Galena.
Oh.
They started calling him DiMaggio after the cops found Lenny and his wife with their heads bashed in by a baseball bat.
Could do this ourselves. Ninja style.
Because you two look like ninjas.
Father?
We're here to see Lou DiMaggio.
Oh, come in.
You don't look like ninjas, but you do look like you should be in the Matrix. With those sunglasses.
Anyway, this is him. John Sacramone. He'll be coming up through here next few days. He stays at the Boston Harbor Hotel. The guy on the left.
Yeah, not the guy on the
My
right.
birthday, too.
Tommy Neri. Got him coming home from the track one night. Caught him good with a tire iron. When he woke up, I held him down while Frank cut his head off with a hacksaw.
Silent as a mouse pissing on cotton.
If you like, we could arrange to have that same thing happen again.
I mean...
I don't know that we need to be that, overstated.
Just a hit will do.
Have in mind.
Alright. I mean, hey, if they work, they work.
That guy we're looking for, he's at the Del Rey Hotel in Miami. A friend with the paving problem.
Send someone over there tomorrow to take care of it, then.
Are you sure you want to do this?
He's...
I feel a lot better with the Pope's blessing.
Just do as you're told. I'll deal with the fallout.
He's just gonna... He's just gonna whack Ralph. It's a double whacking. Or clipping, whatever you want to call it.
Gonna make my own wine.
It's gorgeous, Fior. So that's the garage in question. Anthony, don't wander off.
We'll have to go to the bathroom.
Just stay put. We're leaving in 5 minutes.
That's very specific.
So you're thinking of making that an apartment then for your parents?
Garage. I don't need it.
I mean, when winter comes, you might.
You know, I'm not sure, but I think if it was built before 1938, you can apply for a zoning variance. Pre-existing non-conforming structure, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Did she take AJ as like a buffer?
Love you.
Down so I
Love you
remember.
too. Careful driving.
Be very careful driving.
It's me. Hello? Why is the door unlocked? Jen?
Oh, did something happen? What would have happened?
What are you doing on the floor?
Nothing. I was getting the laundry together.
Hmm?
John.
What the hell's this?
Oh.
I thought you were on the Atkins. You lied to me! You lied!
I know I can't wait these last few years. I see the other wives, the way men look at them.
Don't I look at you like that? Haven't I always? It was your idea, all this dieting nonsense.
I wanted you to be proud of me.
I ain't proud of you.
Welcome to the Del Rey Hotel, man.
Okay, that was really weird.
We'll work something out then. Don't worry about it.
I want half.
All right, whatever. Getting out?
No.
Oh. Ralphie's life just gets spared. Yeah, this dude is subtle.
What's your fucking problem?
Alright, Ralphie just got spared.
Come here. You come too.
Yeah, Carl, go ahead. Good idea.
You watch me. You do the same. Everybody, come on.
He's just such a charming individual, isn't he? He's got that Italian riz.
I was driving around for 20 minutes when finally I spot someone leaving, this big Bluto sort of guy. I must have crowded him as he headed for his car. Anyway, he turned around and became quite confrontational. Parking garages are not inherently dangerous places, Jen. You cannot blame yourself for what happened to you.
Yeah.
Turns out this guy was probably another parent or more likely a repairman.
He didn't recognize him.
He dragged me out of my car.
Not a big reversal all of a sudden.
No more weight remarks, Tony. They're hurtful and they're destructive.
Oh, I agree.
Okay. Just gotta go make a few phone calls.
Bought you something.
What's this for?
No reason.
I don't know if I believe that.
Just dodged a bullet, thought I'd treat you. You know, to his credit, he has not had an affair, I think, since this season started, so.
I'm sorry, Tony.
Come on.
I can't. The music.
But don't turn it off!
I mean, better to have music to drown you out.
The music! Will you turn it down, please?
I mean, I get it's not. Okay. All right. You know, I guess just to sort of get it out of the way first, they're not, like, setting up, like, a thing, right? With Carmela where, like, I don't... like, a thing with, like, her and maybe Furio. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because, honestly, like... Because there's a part of me, like, with some of the interactions where it's like, well, maybe, you know, some of the way Furio's talking is like, no, I think that's just how he talks. I think that's just the Italian riz is just too good, you know? He's too good at it when he's not trying, you know? But a part of me thought, is that why she took AJ when they went over to his house? Because And she said, we're leaving in 5 minutes, because she knows, or I mean, maybe she doesn't even know if something will happen, but she just wants to be sure that something doesn't happen. Maybe that's it. Maybe she's just, being cautious. Like, it's not that there is something there between the two of them, but she's making sure there's not. I mean, I guess that's good. And again, even though she probably wouldn't believe it, I don't think, Tony has had an affair since Gloria. I think... you guys are going to tell me an example in this season that I don't remember, but... well, I don't know. I don't know. The season's kind of weird. I mean, I guess it's not any weirder than the seasons have been, but I will say though, the conflicts are getting stranger. Like before, it was, I guess because it was more about the businesses, whereas now it's more just these weird interpersonal dilemmas, and obviously the conflicts were interpersonal before, but they were more revolved around business, with Tony and June, or Tony and Richie. I know I always bring up Richie, but even honestly, last season with Tony and Ralphie, that was also that, it wasn't really interpersonal. Well, I guess it was kind of with the girl, Tracy. That was her name, right? Yeah, I guess, but now it's we've got the stuff with Chris. I gotta go back to the navigation just so I remember what we've been doing. Well, we got the stuff with Chris. We got the stuff with Paulie. We've got the stuff with Adriana. Last episode was the whole Columbus stuff, and now this episode was Johnny. It's all been interpersonal stuff that hasn't really been about the business, So, I don't know. It's weird, and I guess they did that last season as well. But, I mean, there was the whole thing with Jackie. Jackie was kind of the not business, trying to keep him out. With Ralphie, Ralphie was kind of half and half, Ralphie was kind of half and half last season, where some of it was based on, him becoming capo, and, although him becoming capo ended the problems, really. But, him not becoming capo and everything, and then all the stuff with Tracy, it's it all just kind of compounded on each other. But this, it's this season they're doing more just personal conflicts that don't really have anything to do with business, Why did they have a phone conference with June? There wasn't any other stuff. It was all about Ralph. I mean, I guess because they had to... I don't know. Is it a thing you need both bosses? Because Carmine is the boss of New York. New York seems to have some sort of... And I know you guys explained this to me 1,000 times what the hierarchy is, but let me just see if I've got it here. Is that you've got Tony and the people under Tony. So you have his capos, Paulie, though he's in jail, Silvio, and Ralph. Technically, Chris is acting capo right now. Above... And so Tony sits as the boss of Jersey. But technically, June is the boss. It's sort of an acting sort of thing. Tony is basically acting boss, but he is in charge. He does make decisions, and June is sort of, I don't know, what is it, boss emeritus or something? I don't know a term, but then, like, there's also New York, with which we have... Really, the only characters we have are Carmine and John. Carmine is the boss, and John is his number 2, basically. Why, though, did they need to conference in June for that meeting? For specifically dealing with Ralph, you know? Like, I mean, I guess it's because, you know, it's... If you're dealing with this, you have to get the boss, you know? The boss of Jersey, basically. Even though Tony was there, but... Or maybe June was there as sort of a voice of reason, you know? Almost a third party to deal with this, you know? Because you've got 2 representatives of Jersey. You got Tony and Silvio, who's always with him. And then you've got Carmine and John. So I guess having, you know, another voice in there with June... I don't know, that felt weird. Like, I was waiting for them to, like, discuss something else, but it was just about the whole Ralph situation. Ralph situation is crazy. This is the greatest Ralph Cifaretto situation of all time. This is the greatest wife insulting of all time. Oh, this is terrible. And I mean, yeah, it's weird because, you know, they say it's like, man, you know, a year ago, last season, y'all were buddies, you know, like, John was the only one who, like, listened to Ralph and was, like, trying to help him, you know, with the whole Tony thing, you know? And now it's just like, man, one poor joke, and I will say I like John's relationship with Ginny. Like, it is incredibly wholesome, you know? I like how he says, you know, I didn't ask you to go on a diet, you know? Like, he just loves her. And that is great, you know? So, and with that, it's understandable that he would take such offense. But to go so far as he was about to have Ralphie clipped, like, without approval, specific. In fact, with disapproval. Specifically with disapproval, because Carmine already vetoed that. It's just like, Jiminy, man. But then, you know, he was making such a big stink about it that Carmine was going to have his number 1 man killed. It's just like, whoa. Like, we're resorting to really crazy stuff, you know? All of this, and it didn't even, like, talk about... They didn't even figure out... It was Paulie who told John, you know? Paulie was the one who told John. They haven't even figured that out yet. Like, I assume that's going to have to come back at some point. We didn't see him at all this episode. I don't even remember if we saw him last episode. I'm still curious, like, what is the purpose of that? You know, like, why... I'm assuming just the actor was busy, so they couldn't, they couldn't use him much this season, or at least his first half of the season, you know? I don't know, man. You know, the thing... It was kind of hard to write notes about this episode. It's just like, man, what are we doing? Just this whole beef between Ralphie and John, you know? It just kept building and building and building. And I mean, it's good that... It's good that neither of them were killed, but... I don't know, man. Again, I don't know really why they had to call June to deal with Ralph. I guess it's just, you know, you gotta get his opinion because he is technically the boss of Jersey, and this is one of his capos, you know? I guess, but... I mean, it is a funny thing that, like, in all of this, like, this has nothing really to do with Tony. Other than, like, this will affect Tony with, if they ended up killing Ralphie, you know? Because he's a top earner. He's one of their capos, specifically. And he's just doing what he should be doing, which is just defending his men. Defending his capo. So that's fair. But, like, this whole situation like, doesn't actually involve Tony, which is interesting, you know? Like, he didn't screw anything up. You know, he's not in the... he's only in the middle of this by proxy, basically. And we did see the hitmen, even though we didn't get to see them, do their magic, apparently. But that was interesting, that whole thing, Everybody was getting rich selling heroin except them. And then it turns out the guy that told them not to do that was selling heroin. And so they killed him. Oh. Started calling him DiMaggio. Because he beat that guy and caved his head in with a baseball bat. And his wife. What does his wife do? His wife didn't deserve that. Now they're just a bunch of old men in a house, but hey, they can still get the job done, apparently. Could have, but John literally saved himself by forgetting that sweater. And then the whole thing with Jenny. I mean, and again, it's like I like that how much he loves his wife, Like, that's so wholesome, honestly. It's very wholesome, And luckily after that, he did decide to drop all of this, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, we've been talking for about 15 minutes, but it's like, the problem is, like, all of my notes are basically the same thing. It's just talking about it. I mean, it's just such a weird situation, Situation is crazy. I mean, it's just... Ralph was Ralph, pissed off John, and then it all got resolved, finally, basically. It all got resolved without, anything else, without any death, so... And then there's everything with Carmilla. What's her name? Meadow. Jeez, why couldn't I think of that? Meadow is working, assisting at a law firm or something. But that's interesting. Dr. Melfi is still feeling guilty. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much to really glean from any of those, but it's a good episode. It was interesting. I was kind of thinking, like, man, either this is going to be the end of John or the end of Ralphie, But no, they both made it out alive, and seems to have resolved the conflict. So I don't know. I guess one of the main things, though, is that we still haven't figured out that Paulie was the one leaking the information, in the same way that he was also leaking the other, the property or whatever. And it's like, Carmine shouldn't have known about that. Paulie was the leak, but they didn't even think about that, And this is a holdover from stuff about last season, at the end of last season, where, it's like, oh, is Tony playing favorites with Ralphie? And it's just like, with Ralphie? Nobody wants Ralphie, But it's a good episode. It's still a good episode. It was interesting. But yeah, I don't know. But that is basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Sopranos reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.